So, if you guys don't know already, American Express has increased their welcome offer again. If you guys did not know, the new welcome offer for the American Express Platinum Card is now going to be you can sign up, get their 175,000 point offer after $12,000 in spend. I'm going to pull that up for you guys so you guys can see it. All right, so this is the landing page for the American Express Platinum Card. So if you are somebody today that wants to sign up for the American Express Platinum Card, if you wanted to sign up for this a few days ago, literally like 5 days ago, you would have still gotten the 8,000 offer. But as you can see right here, you can get an offer as high as 175,000 membership rewards points after you spend $12,000 in purchases on the new card within 6 months. If you didn't know, this used to be $8,000 in 6 months, and before that, it was actually $6,000 in 6 months. So they have now doubled from the initial $6,000 in the span of about, I want to say like 3 years. So back in August of 2023, American Express actually increased this offer from what was $6,000 in spend in 6 months to now $8,000 in spend in 6 months. And now here we are, present day, it is now increased to $12,000. Now, these changes come amid a lot of different things. As we've always said on this channel, banks are not your friends. They are constantly trying to figure out different ways to make money. They're not here to help you. They're here to just dangle the carrot and then hit you with the stick. When it comes to American Express, there has been a lot of controversy about like lounge access and credit card churners that are just using these cards simply to get free travel. If you guys have TikTok or any social media, you may have seen people recommending this card and showing you all of the free things that they've gotten with the sign-up bonus. Those people a lot of times are credit card churners. If you don't know what a credit card churner is, it is simply someone who signs up for a credit card just to get the maximum sign-up bonus, use that sign-up bonus to get free travel, and then move on to the next card. If you're in the credit card space that has kind of been blowing up in the last couple of years, you've seen a lot more and more people talking about free travel and all of the different ways that you can utilize these points to get free travel. Well, American Express is listening, and they are trying to figure out ways to kind of gatekeep all of the rewards that they do offer because they are targeting a very specific audience. Now, when I say that they are not your friend and how this card is not really good for credit card churners, this is actually what I'm talking about. So as you can see, when it comes to the multipliers and the points that you can actually earn on this card, it's not very much, right? So you get 5x on flights that are booked directly through American Express. You can get 5x on prepaid hotels, also booked directly through American Express, or 1 point for everything else. So if you're somebody who is in the credit card space and you understand how points and things work, you recognize that like these are not multipliers that you would typically want your credit card to offer you so that you can get the best bang for your buck. For example, for a card like the Chase Sapphire Preferred, that gives you 3x on food spend. If you are going for the sign-up bonus and you're somebody who also buys a lot of food, it's actually very useful that you can get 3x times your money. So that way, that adds to the overall sign-up bonus that you're going to get, which is just going to increase the total amount of money or total amount of points that you're going to have to be able to use towards your free travel. In this instance, you would have to spend $12,000, and if that $12,000 isn't on hotels or flights, you're basically just going to get 12,000 points flat. That will go with the sign-up bonus that you get. But again, if you're somebody who's trying to maximize the amount of points that you are getting, spending $12,000 on a credit card that isn't really offering you any kind of versatile spend is kind of a net negative. So with that being said, it's like you're really losing or sacrificing a lot of the points that you could get if you were using a different type of credit card. And for the amount of spend that you have to put on this card, it's just a lot of money to dedicate to essentially only get a 1-to-1 point match. And then you have to take into consideration, if you're somebody who really keeps up with points, you have to take into consideration the valuation of those points. $12,000 in spend when so many other cards are doing anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 in spend, and then you can switch to another card. It's a lot to commit. So if you are a credit card churner, I think that this is American Express's way of basically telling you like they don't want you. American Express does not want you as a credit card churner to apply for their card. They are really trying to buckle down and keep their core audience. And I think they're also trying to target people who are bigger spenders. $12,000 is not something that you want to put on a card that's going to give you 1x back on everything. That's just period, point blank. Now, if you don't believe me, I actually have an article pulled up here from American Express talking to CNBC about the new changes to the card. So, in addition to that new $12,000 in spend, if you also didn't know, American Express did also recently increase their annual fee from $695 to now $895, making it the most expensive credit card that you could own in the credit card space in terms of annual fee. So I'm going to read through this article a little bit for you, and I'll also link it in my description so that you guys can go and read it for yourself in its entirety. But very first line here says, American Express is finding that even for a provider of credit cards to the affluent, it pays to focus on the highest of high rollers. So right off the bat, letting you know that they are trying to target the people who make a lot of money, who are constantly actually flying because they need to do it for business purposes or vacation purposes. They want people who make a lot of money and spend a lot of money. But let's keep going. The company recently shifted marketing dollars to its refreshed Platinum card, which carries an $895 annual fee and away from no-fee cashback cards. CEO Steven whatever told analysts Friday after the company reported fourth quarter results. Doing that helps to boost overall spending levels as high-end consumers continue to thrive, a tactic that leads to both rising fee revenue from premium cards and lower loan defaults, executives said. Quote, "We have the ability to be really flexible with our marketing investments, and we saw a tremendous demand for premium products, particularly the Platinum card. The overall portfolio is slowly getting more premium as the Platinum portfolio is growing at a very fast pace," he added. Amex's strategy shift is the latest example of the so-called K-shaped U.S. economy playing out, in which wealthy consumers continue to spend freely while others rein in their expenses. Data from the company shows that demand for high-end products and luxury experiences is accelerating, while purchases in more basic categories rises at a slower pace. So this speaks directly to what I'm saying. If you are somebody who is a churner, that you are trying to just sign up for this card because you see over 100,000 Amex points that you can get, but you're spending your money on things that are only going to give you 1x, they are paying attention to that. They can see that you're spending this at Walmart or you're spending it at all these things that are not travel related purchases. They consider that basic categories because the card is designed to get you on a plane or get you in a hotel. If it's not travel related, they don't care. Another big reason that some of these changes are being made to the card is an outrage from the customers themselves, talking about how these lounges are being overcrowded by people, how people are coming dressed up in bonnets and pajamas, all kinds of things. And I'll link this one down below as well. But here's another article from them that says the changes to the Centurion Lounge access policies revolve around two things: guests and layovers. Per the current guest policy, Platinum card members can bring guests for $50 each. If they spend $75,000 a year on their Platinum card, they can bring 2 complimentary guests. When the new rules go into effect on July 8th, another restriction will be in place. Guests will have to be traveling on the same flight as the card holder. Travelers with layovers will also face a restriction when the new rules take effect. They won't be able to access the lounge until 5 hours before their connecting flight. Example, so if you have a 7-hour layover, you'll have to spend 2 hours of those hours at the airport. TGI Friday is the example that they're using. And like I said, I will link this article down below so you guys can read through the rest of this. But like I said, this is all of these changes that they are making, they are clearly catering to people in a higher tax bracket that hold these cards. Because as long as anybody can remember, an American Express Platinum card has always been a status symbol. Somebody breaks that out, you know that they own a business, you know that they're always on a plane, you know that they're traveling. That's what it represents. So all these people who have gotten this card in the last few years, and then they get on TikTok and tell you how to sign up for the card and that it's so worth it to get all this free travel, they have been listening. But the customers that have been with American Express for the last 20, 30 years, They're annoyed, and they express that, so they don't want as many people in the lounges. They don't want this to be an easy access thing because status matters to them. They want to be able to go to the lounge and do their thing and be completely uninterrupted. So they're making sure they have all these restrictions. There's also a new dress code policy that they're putting on there as well. Like, you can't just go in there in pajama pants. Like, you have to be dressed a certain way when you're traveling to even go into the lounge. So if you are somebody who is just getting the car for free travel and you want to go into the lounge, but you have like your comfortable wear that you're wearing on the plane because you just want to be comfortable while you're on the plane, you're gonna have to spend your 7-hour layover sitting on a bench in the airport or just walking around the city until your flight is ready. All right, so those are the new things that is going on. So what does this mean for you? Like I said, if you're somebody who's a credit card churner, honestly, I don't think that you should apply for the Amex Platinum card because it's very clear the company doesn't want you to. Just plain and simple. The company is clearly shifting away from that type of mentality. They want a customer base that is going to be spending a lot of money on their card, $75,000, and they want high rollers. They said that themselves. But that doesn't mean that you are now locked out from being able to do credit card churning. Obviously, there are plenty of other cards out there that you can use instead of the Amex Platinum card, such as the Chase Sapphire Preferred, the Chase Sapphire Reserve. You've got the Delta Sky Miles Reserve card. You've got the Capital One Venture X card. And all of those cards have a way lower annual fee. All of them include better multipliers, and you don't have to spend as much money to get the sign-up bonuses on those cards. And they all give you lounge access, with the exception of the Sapphire Preferred card. I think only the Reserve, the Capital One, and the Delta, as far as what I just said, are actually going to get you into a lounge. But if those are things that matter to you, and that's why you were trying to go for the American Express Platinum card, just know there are alternatives for you to go to. You don't have to put all your eggs in this basket. $12,000 in spend is crazy. Just flat out, it is crazy. If Amex is not an ecosystem that you are already like super into already, and you are not one of these high rollers, as they said, don't waste your money getting this card. The credits are way too much to even keep up with, to be honest with you. The new spend requirement is a complete turnoff. And now also with that increased annual fee, I just don't recommend it to anybody that's trying to do credit card churning. $12,000 is way too much money to dedicate to a card like this when you could very easily dedicate a third of that spend to a card and then use the rest of that spend toward either another card or just something else. Don't let this card trick you into thinking that you are actually benefiting from getting it. That's the idea. Of course, American Express is going to take your money. If you want to give them $900 for their card and you have a good enough credit score, they're going to give you the card. But don't let it fool you. The card is not designed for you if that is your mentality. So that's all I really have to say about that today, guys. Like I said, if you like this type of content, leave me a like down below. Comment what you guys think about these new changes, and if you're still going to apply for this card, or maybe if you're going to cancel your card, don't plan on renewing it. And let me know what you think. Subscribe if you're new. Plan on making a couple more videos about the topic. But yeah, for now, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace.